What did American taxpayers get for their multi-billion-dollar black budget investment? We want to talk about a couple of these here. So we've got three tiers of technology that we want to discuss here. Tier number one, common, ordinary, garden variety, vanilla aircraft. F-15, F-16, F-14. Things that you see every day at your air show. F-14's retired now, you won't see that at your air show. Tier two, previous black programs which have been declassified into the so-called white world. That includes your F-117 stealth fighters, your B-2 stealth fighters, your Boeing Phantom Works bird of prey programs. These are previously black programs that are now in the white world. Now, I do want to mention, if you have a program like the Boeing Phantom Works bird of prey off to the right here, it is a proprietary program. Therefore, FOIA requests are completely non-existent in this program. You can't get any real specific details on what's actually going on because it was a Boeing proprietary program. FOIAs don't go to that particular program. Tier 3 projects, classified, unacknowledged special access programs, which have virtually no congressional oversight and circumvent the established laws of physics. Number 20 is interesting. The falling leaf phenomenon. Many man-made craft wobble or rock before they become fully stabilized at low altitude. Report May 18th, 1975, Ohio. Now, just so that you don't think I'm making this up, here's the Quad City Times, May 18th, 1975. Several days later, in Adams County, Ohio, 2 police officers reported a huge UFO hovering some 200 feet above the ground, swaying in a familiar falling leaf motion. So here's the reference of this actual falling leaf motion. Hudson Valley Boomerang. This is 1982 to 1989. 25,000 eyewitnesses in the Hudson Valley area reported seeing these large triangular boomerang-shaped craft hover over multiple locations. Taconic State Parkway was seen. It had tubes, pipes, and cylinders on the bottom of it. It had multicolored lights. It had translucent or transparent panels allowing witnesses to see up inside the interior of the craft itself. This is Taconic State Parkway, March 24th, 1983. Interesting because hundreds of people pulled off to the side of the road. They got out of their cars and were looking at this craft, hovering directly above them. And they could see it had these transparent panels, and there was this cross beam and girder construction embedded within the craft itself. Top view looking down, I've got the bottom view here. This shows you the layout of these transparent panels. Now, why would you want to have transparent panels on an aircraft that look like this? If you were landing vertically, you'd want to see your landing area. That might be one reason why. Characteristics of the Hudson Valley Boomerang. Sightings of the craft came from Connecticut, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. The craft was virtually silent and measured between 300 and 900 feet across. The UFO was seen hovering over busy expressways, lakes, and rivers. The object was reported by airline pilots, air traffic controllers, doctors, lawyers, local law enforcement, firemen, computer programmers. Reliable witnesses saw this. The craft appeared to have an industrial steel structural girder and crossbeam internal construction like a truss bridge. So, what is the track that this craft actually followed? And this is during this Reagan administration buildup, March 24th, 1983. It started at Millwood and kind of was going up the Taconic State Parkway. It was following the Taconic State Parkway. We want to talk about Maureen O'Driscoll. What did she see here? This is Philadelphia Inquirer, September 28th, 1984. Quote, "I could see the underbelly part. It's solid. It had metal type work like cross beams and tubular things hanging down here and there. I was so close I could have thrown a ball and hit it." Monique O'Driscoll. This is February 25th, 1983. She got a very good close look at this. Absolutely very good close. Dennis Sant, "As it hovered, I could make out dark, smoky colored metallic beams underneath. Huge, huge beams." Dennis Sant, object seen March 17th, 1983 on a Thursday. So there's this Thursday again. So what did Monique O'Driscoll see? February 26, 1983, Kent, New York. This was hovering directly over a place called White Pond. It was frozen. As it came over, it did a 180-degree turn. Her daughter was also in the car, and there was static on the radio. And this thing was blinking off these multicolored flashing lights. You had the reds go off, you had the yellows go off, you had the greens go off, the blues went off, all in sequence, and then it repeated the pattern. This thing kind of flew away at a low rate of speed, but she got the closest view ever of this particular craft. This is a bottom view looking up, and you can see these multicolored flashing lights. This doesn't look like an ET craft here. This happened so much in Westchester County back in 83, 84, they had a name for it. They call it the Westchester Boomerang. It happened so much. So could one of these Hudson Valley boomerangs, could one of them be a mobile over-the-horizon radar system? Because that would satisfy almost the entire equation here. That would satisfy the transparent panels. That would satisfy the crossbeam and girder construction, the triangular shape. It is a possible good match for this. Something that was seen at Croton Falls, October 28th, 1983. We've got a good eyewitness report. Something that looked like this over Croton Falls, New York. Now, we want to mention that while all this is going on, there were attempts to hoax sightings. Some, but not all, sightings in Danbury, Connecticut were attributed to small single-engine Cessna 152 aircraft flying in formation. However, those who saw both the planes and the genuine Hudson Valley boomerang could immediately tell the difference. So we had three things going on here, actually four. We had the actual Hudson Valley boomerang. Then we had a group of small pilots that were faking the formation to make it look like the real thing, but it wasn't. So they were trying to cover up things. We had ultralight pilots flying in formation that were trying to cover and fake what was going on. Then we had military pilots. After the sighting of a real one, they'd fly up in formation, and they'd try to divert people's attention away from the real aircraft. That was what was going on here. It was a lot of dirty shenanigans.